Hey guys, welcome to our YouTube channel Mainframe Girls. In the last video, we have explained you about what is mainframe, and in the current one, we will tell you the benefits of mainframe and the reasons why public and the private large-scale computing companies use mainframe as their foundation. And you may be thinking you have never used mainframe, but directly or indirectly, you are a mainframe user. Like if you have ever dealt with cash or if you have ever withdrawn money from an ATM, you are a mainframe user. And if you have ever done an internet banking and online, and it's an online banking mainframe transaction. So all the large scale computing, small scale computing companies or the banking companies, government and insurance and healthcare, they are using mainframe as their backend, and everyone has right to know the benefits of a mainframe, like why the important and the secure data is stored in a mainframe. The reasons are its reliability, its availability, its serviceability, and it's mainly the security. Who doesn't need secure data? And its scalability, and there are many other adjectives to define its importance and benefits of mainframe. So today I'll explain you one by one the benefits of mainframe on upcoming. Okay, generally when we see a computer system or when we think about a server, what are the three or characteristics we think? Are whether how much time it is available, how much time it takes when there is a repair, how much time the servicing time will be there. So according to that, the main three characteristics we search when we are buying or seeing for a server is reliability, availability, and serviceability, which are called RAS characteristics. When a system or a server exhibits RAS characteristics, we say it as a best model. Okay, because the system is available to us all the time with the proper availability, proper reliability, and proper serviceability. If any system is having these three characteristics, we say it as a high performing system. So here the mainframe is having these three characteristics as the base characteristics. Let me explain you about reliability. What does reliability mean exactly? Means it performs consistently well. Means the system is up and up when even when there is an upgrade is going on, even when there is a repair is going on. So it's like the system is having a very good self checking or extensive self checking ability, with which it can easily detect the problems where it is having a problem, and it can repair itself sooner. So we have a zero downtime and the recovery occurs very fast. So the mainframe is perfectly reliable. Okay, the next base feature is availability. You know the meaning of availability. It means something is available to you 24 by 7. Like how the mainframe is doing it. It is having a base feature, a best feature is that if there is some failure, it can be recovered without impacting the next system, means next remaining system. The impacted product will be changed without affecting the remaining part of the system or remaining OS or the remaining applications. It has both hardware recovery and both software recoveries. If there is some coming to an hardware recovery, if there is some failure of a product, of a hardware product, there is always a spare available and an automatic replacement happens. When it comes to a software recovery, there is always a plan B here, because the data has been saved not in one mainframe server, but it is saved in two or three, depending upon the client's requirement and depending upon the secured data. The data is saved in two or three places. So due to that, when there is a failure of the particular primary system without stoppage of production. The it is directly the data has been directed towards the secondary data service, and yearly ones, or depending upon the client requirements, yearly once, twice, there is a test disaster recovery happens in every client systems. It means that what happens if there is some disaster happens, if there is some natural calamity changes happens, at that time there should be a plan B backup to us. So every year once, yearly once, there will be a disaster recovery test plans running in the mainframe end, and these go very good because the data has been saved. The point in copies of the data means whatever data you have on the production will be saved in another data server in a long place or a distance place with a proper backups. So, in this way, the mainframe is giving you a complete 24 by 7 availability with hardware products and with the software. So, your data is so secured and so much available to you 24 by 7. Here comes a third basic feature, and the base feature of mainframe is serviceability. As the third feature, RAS. Serviceability is something which we know everywhere. When we go outside, or when we go to a mall, when we go to a shopping mall, when we do some purchase online, they ask us in the end that how was our service, like how they provided the service. Coming to mainframe, here when it can determine its own failures on its own, and it can replace its own hardware and software elements on its own. So its serviceability is so good that the replacement occurs on its own, and there is a very less time downtime also available. So this term is also implies well defined units of replacements, either hardware or software. And here we have a term called mean time between failure. Means there is, if there is some failure occurred by mistake or an unscheduled failure occurs, it takes almost very less time to solve it. Like it, when the shifting from a primary to a secondary source, it almost takes minutes. If late happens, if something late or delayed, it will take maybe, I have seen issues which have occurred, mostly a big issues occurred of more than 45 minutes to 1 hour. That's it. Even for that time you will be having a plan B, and the services will be running behind, but some part of the services, if they are not running, it has to be solved soon. And you have very less impact because loss, like there won't be any loss of data, but when there is a service, if there is some hardware issue, if there is some software issue, if there is no space available, some issues like this in the server can be solved very soon with the use of administrators and with the system engineers and who are available, and where incidents are raised with the P1, P0 priority, and the people come very soon and give their all effort to solve it. After the base features, reliability, availability, and serviceability, we have a most important feature which is required for an every server or cloud or everything is security. So, as I've told you before, what type of firms or what type of large scale computing companies were there in mainframe, like government companies, insurance companies, banking, and healthcare. So, what data they do have, like account information, customer list, employee information, many thing which is so personal to everyone. So 100% it has to be protected from all the cyber attacks or hackers which is happening outside, the hacking thing which is happening outside. So every day there will be a 1 trillion secure web transactions happening in mainframe. Like every day, as I told you before, thousands of millions of transactions or millions of money withdrawals, millions of internet transactions will be happening. The life cycle of data starts from a customer end to a data storage place. Means a data will be, it has a very good cycle, like it has to go to a customer. Like if a customer, suppose me, if I go to bank and give my account number, I shouldn't get the information of someone else's account details. Means I should have my own privileges. Means I should get my own details, which is called, which is in mainframe, it is managed by privacy by policy. Means the access rule should be so secured that when I go to access my details, I should get my own details but not others. So I cannot, I should not see someone else details. Means that's how it should be secured. That's how the access should be given to each person. If suppose if you are working in a mainframe firm, if you are some type of administrator, or suppose you are someone operations, so that you should have your level of access, and each person will be having their each, like even the roles, the roles who are working in the mainframe, if it's a system administrator, if it is a system engineer, if it's an application developer, or an operation person, or a customer, each should have their own level of access to them, which is built in the OS of a mainframe. We have, like IBM provides a separate product called RACF, RACF, a product which gives an access rules to everyone. Like you have a separate security administrator, security system administrator, whose work is only to manage and give access to a particular person. When a new person joins, they have, when he is appointed to a particular team, he will be given a particular action, he will be given a particular access ID. That access ID will have some privilege access only. He will be restricted to a separate files. Only some files only he can be accessed. When it comes to giving access, it's not only viewing. You are the person who can view it, you can edit it, you can delete it, and you can modify it. This four things are very critical. If some people will be having access only to view a file, some people will have an access to modify a file, and some people will have an access to delete a file. So there are different level of accesses after giving an access to a single file. So each firm or whoever storing data in a mainframe, it should be so much protected from the other resource or the cyber attacks or hackers, that it cannot be accessed by anyone else apart from the people who are having that privilege access to that. And if you see, then if the mainframe is not behind it, like the newly coming, the modern mainframe is having its cryptographic cards, which these cards can change the language in a starting place when when the data is created, and only the people who have access, or only the people who have that secret code to open that particular information can be readable. Means this information with this cryptographic cards, the text is completely changed to a ciphertext, and only the people who have an access can be seen in a plain text or a readable text. So with this large protection and with this high protection, there would be no cyber attacks, or there would be no hacking. As you see in mostly in movies, there when it comes to a mainframe, you have to be in a data server to hack it. You the particularly, it will be very less, a rare times where it's a rare possibility where a mainframe is getting hacked directly. It's how much protected, its infrastructure is protected, and the data is protected by our security administrators. So everyone is having a very proper secure data in the mainframe. So I say that a mainframe is having a proper secure data feature. So it is its basic feature can be added a security as a topmost priority. Here comes the next feature, scalability. Every firm or every platform will be changing in its space. If there is a growth or if there is a positive results, obviously with increased demand there will be a change in the infrastructure, or we have to change the operations, or if to change the software part of the system. But when it handles that platform handles that growth or that demand very smoothly, then we can call that platform as a scalable platform. So when we add more work, like when there is a growing amount of work is there, and when you are changing something in the behind, but you need the applications to run in the front end, and you have to make the changes in the back end, but you have to make sure that these applications are running very smoothly even when you are changing or upgrading things behind. So that is what scalable here. When you are in a part of mainframe, when you are adding a new processor, or when you are adding a new space, or with new memory or new storage, the performance levels of the system should be very smooth, that the simultaneous transactions what are running on the front end, the customers or the consumers should not feel the difference of the upgrades which you are doing behind. That ability, the scalability is there for the mainframe. When the work is increased, when a new applications are added, your application should be able to access the memory or the products which are already there in the system. You cannot give another access to them. So there the mainframe provides you a built-in shared memory, like everything is shared is everything. So that is a policy of architecture, like OS architecture of the mainframe, that even a new application comes or new processor comes, a new space comes, everything is having access to the shared memory which is present inside. Here, the mainframe provides you both vertical and horizontal scaling, which here means it can give you hardware scaling or and also a software scaling. The OS system is having a very good virtualization capabilities, which provides you to simultaneously run many systems or many plexes in a one time, so that you can do each work in different plexes. You can run a different OS in a mainframe. Coming to a hardware part, you can run different OS. You can run Linux. It is supported by Linux. It is supported by all the mainframe OSs which are running, and that's how it is so much scalable to all the products which are newly added. Here is the next benefit of mainframe, that is compatibility. When it comes to compatibility, the basic definition what we can say is how compatible each other are, like how when there's a person, if it's between two people, how compatible they both are. In the same way, when it comes to a platform, how compatible the software and hardware is. Means when a new software is coming, when a new hardware is coming, is the older software is working properly on the new hardware or not. Or like as mainframes OS or the mainframe got established around 1960s, the hardware, whatever hardware is there at that time is being developed or evolving, but we are using the same hardware. So that in that hardware, when the new software is working very properly, and when it is getting very the compatibility between the new software and the old hardware, and the when we are upgrading, even when we are upgrading, the same JCL codes we are using, the same utilities, the old utilities which we are using are still working on the new hardware also, the evolving hardware also. The architecture is been evolving from the starting, like the now the ZOS architecture is Z16 architecture which we are using at this moment in mainframe is compatible with the old code which had developed decades ago, which was refined decades ago. The main motto of mainframe like is applications must continue to work properly even they are old, even if they are new. They should be easily they should be easily working with the new software and the new hardware products.
So I say here, like the people who are working in the mainframe designing, or the mainframe designers, their most priority, the top priority thing is to maintain this compatibility between the software and the hardware. Even if there is an hardware change, or even if there is an hardware addition to the particular product, then old software should not fail to work on the new hardware. There are many other benefits for mainframe, like evolving architecture. As you see, the mainframe established or founded nearly 1960, and this is 2024, and still it is evolving, and it is matching up with the existing hardwares and has existing software, and even the new software is easily able to run on the same architecture which is there from the long back. Even the new OS is running very good on this, like even the Linux and the Windows, and all the new hardware which is it taking, like Luminix and Dell EFC, the storage thing, whatever it's coming, the new updates, the it is easily it is taking, and it is taking and working very properly on this. And coming to the other one is extensibility. As we know that the mainframe is an older server with that registries, with that blocks, with that CPUs and processors, but whatever the new storage or the new technology which is coming up, like AI, machine learning, it is easily taking up that thing. Means there is a no change which we are doing to the existing part or existing software or hardware. We are adding whatever the new things are coming, we are simply adding to the existing hardware and to the existing software, and they are also running very neatly with the old hardware and the old software, and the old softwares are running very good on the new hardware part also. And like you say that mainframe is a data center which has to be there physically, so it will be taking lot of space, and there should be a big cooling systems to make that cooling of that servers. But as the virtualization has been came to the mainframe after this update of virtualization, with the physical servers has reduced, and due to this virtualization, with the less servers you are making, we are able to do a more work, more accounts has been created, more clients has been put on a same OS because of this just virtualization part. And so as the physical servers are reduced, the floor capacity decreased, and the cooling power decreased, and the power units, the watts also has been decreased. So with this, it is also environment friendly, but previously in the starting, it wasn't environment friendly, but the upgrades, the parts, the evolving architecture, the everything has made mainframe as environment friendly also. So these are all benefits that I have taken, only like the important benefits, and I've explained you. But there are many other benefits for the mainframe. Mainly the main benefit is security, the secure data which we have. This hacking part is quite a 0.001% possible in the mainframe. So with this, I'll just conclude the video.